Hey guys, it's me, Chrissy. This is the first video that I planned to do a voiceover for. Excuse the probably little noises in the background. That's just my little boofy. He's sitting here right beside me sleeping while I'm recording, so you might hear some little squeaks and stuff like that. But I came here to talk about pretty much why I love Harvest Moon so much. Harvest Moon has been one of my favorite games since I can't remember exactly when I got this game, but it was when the original Harvest Moon DS game came out. And when the original Harvest Moon DS game came out, for some reason my mom, like, out of nowhere bought it. And she got, like, the little plushies, because I've collected all the plushies over time since then. Because we always pre-ordered it for them, because every time you get a new animal, you get a new plushie, that kind of thing. And, what is it, Tutors? You don't like me talking? But anyway, and it all started with that one, and then very shortly after, I had a friend who also played Harvest Moon, and she was playing the GameCube version of Wonderful Life, and so I kind of was playing both at the same time. Now, a lot of people don't like the original DS one for some reason, and I can see why if you grew up playing the GameCube or the 64 or the Game Boy ones, why you would probably dislike it a little bit, because I didn't play those till after, so, you know, I have never played the 64 or the SNES one, but everything else, even the old Game Boy ones, I bought them off the DS store or whatever, or the Nintendo store, the DS store. The Nintendo store, and I have them on my 3DS, and I have all the original games other than that, like, in hard, like, cartridge form and all that stuff. But that's where it started for me, was the DS and A Wonderful Life, and I didn't know how to really play it. Like, I knew how a farming simulator would work in a sense, but I didn't really know how to be good at it. But oh my god, I love that game. I still play that one in the cute version on a regular basis, even though they're real glitchy and kind of buggy and sometimes have game-breaking bugs, but I still love to play them. Probably every year or so, I'll replay the whole game in full and, like, marry someone I haven't married before. And that's just how it started for me. Now, I also love the Rune Factory series. I didn't play that probably till I was a teenager. I'm 21, so I'm not that old, but I started with the Wii version, like the original Wii game, which I guess was technically a weird version of the DS game. I don't know. But I started with the Wii one because that was the one my mom bought me. She also bought me that one out of nowhere. I guess my mom just knew what I'd like. Me and my little weeaboo self, she's like, oh, look, it's got anime characters on. Let me just get it for her. And I mean, it worked. I've never disliked the game she bought. But a little short, like, I guess, interlude before I get into why I love Harvest Moon so much and not why I started, like, how I started playing it and all that. I'm going to talk about the people I married real quick, because I love hearing who picks what bachelors and bachelorettes, like, who they marry. Now, ever since DS Cute, or the More Friends in Mineral Town, technically, which was the first one, but I didn't play that one till later, you could marry dudes then, but before then you had to marry girls. Ozzy, what are you doing, buddy? He's rooting all over my squishies. It's on his butt. So, the first person I was interested in was Nami, of course, the redheaded girl. And just, of course, I didn't know how to do hard events at first. I didn't know how any of that worked. But then I found Fogu.com, and it changed my life. I still go to them all the time for tips and, like, new game reviews. Not new game reviews, like, new announcements and stuff, because they're always one of the first sites to get stuff. But I've loved using them since. Now, I haven't played some of the other DS games in a long time, like the ones kind of in between when it turned to Story of Seasons, which I've not played any of the actual new Harvest Moon games. I just stayed with the Yushi no Tane, or however you pronounce it, just stayed with Story of Seasons, because I really don't, I mean, eventually I'm going to buy them, but they seem kind of bad, so I hate to judge it again without even playing it, but I don't want to play a game. I don't want to play, you know what I mean? But first I married Nami, and then Muffy in the GameCube version, because my friend told me Nami was hard in the GameCube version, so I believed her. And I didn't marry her. There was only 3 girls in the A Wonderful Life, not Another Wonderful Life, which I didn't have. Because you can marry Lumina for some reason in that game, which is kind of weird because she looks like she's 16. But after that, I married, when I got the more Friends and the Friends in Mineral Town games, the Game Boy games, or the regular ones, not the kind of janky old ones that are but kind of like a weird phone game to me. I married Potpourri and I married Trent. I love Trent. He's like one of my all-time favorite bachelors of all time. And then after that, my handwriting is so bad. I'm trying to read it. My goodness, I cannot write. Oh, Magical Melody is what it says. I never beat Magical Melody. I never really got into it because I guess I just got into it at the wrong time. I don't know. I have both the Wii and the GameCube version, and it's not my style. Like, I don't like the art style very much. I don't like how it plays. I mean, it's a Harvest Moon game, so I like it, but I don't like it as much as the other ones. You know what I mean? So, oh my god, my handwriting is so bad. So for Island of Happiness and Sunshine Islands, I really didn't like Island of Happiness. Because I remember when my mom bought it for me, I'm like, my goodness, this game's terrible. Because they switched so much. They were trying to improve that they went way too far left. And kind of messed up a bunch of stuff and kind of made it janky. I'm sure there's some people who love that game. I don't think it's horrible, but I really don't like it. I've never replayed it since I played it when I got it on release date. I married Elliot. And Sunshine Islands, I also married Elliot again, because all the other bachelors, in my opinion, are way too hard to marry. That game, it's not like Kappa from More Friends in Mineral Towns, but oh my god, it's kind of stupid. And then in the Tree of Tranquility and Animal Parade, I married Julius, because he kind of reminded me of a drag queen, and I love drag queens. That's really all the explanation I can give on that, to be honest. And then in Grand Bazaar, I married Angelo, because he's an artist, and, you know, kind of fits. And then in a Story of Two Towns, Tale of Two Towns, I married Cam. Cam has always been one of my all-time favorites, even after all this time. Cam is, like, way up there. He's, like, probably number 2. It's kind of hard between him and Alan, who was the next one I married, was Alan. And I'll get to more on that in a minute. Was Alan, and him and Alan are just, oh my god, I love them so much. And after that was Klaus, because I didn't want to marry Camille, even though it's Cam, because I already married him in the other game. And I liked really all the bachelors in that one, but in mention my chin. In Story of Seasons, like the first one that released to America, like the first one named that instead of Harvest Moon, the Natsume. But I just kind of picked Klaus just because he kind of seemed like an older dude, and I just thought that was pretty cool. And then in the newest one, even though it's not so new now, in the Story Season 3 of Towns, I married Ludus. Again, I like all the bachelors in this one too, for the most part, except Wolfie was a little strange. I wish he would show his face. I know he's a person, but I just can't. Like, Harvest Moon has so many weird bachelors and bachelorettes. I just can't. But after that little tangent, I'm gonna go into, like, what made me love Harvest Moon as much as I do. So, my junior year of high school, this came out a little bit before then, but for, it was, A New Beginning, the one with Alan in it. And I didn't like it at first, because I thought A New Beginning, I didn't understand how the crafting system worked and all this, and I had a friend, I think her name, I can't remember her, I think it's Nocturnal Light, was on DeviantArt. Her and I were real good buddies at this time. We haven't talked since, nothing against her, it's just we kind of parted ways over time. But her and I were both obsessed with Cam. That's how we became friends. And then we both became obsessed with Alan. So she was telling me how to do it, like how to fix up the town the right way and get more into the game. And around October is kind of when stuff hit the fan for me, my junior year, because my appendix tried to kill me. And I was out of school for on and off. I was out of school for 2 weeks initially because I couldn't get it to heal because I just kept like bleeding and gross stuff that comes with having your appendix ripped out. And TMI, it was infested with parasites was the problem. I had parasites in my appendix and it was swollen so bad that you could see it through my skin. And they're like, you're gonna die. We need to take this out. So they cut me open. There's big scars everywhere. Because when it's not exploding, they can do like little small incisions, but when you have such a swollen appendix, they gotta rip it out somehow, so they had to make bigger holes, like bigger cuts or incisions. So they removed that, and I'm out of school for so long. Like, I was in AP classes, everything was going good, and I fell so far behind that I actually had to make up the credits that year. Because when you fall behind in AP classes more than like a day or two, you're pretty much screwed. And I was out for 2 weeks. I missed the biggest band competition that year, and I was really, really just down and depressed on myself. And I wanted to go to school. I wanted to do something. I didn't want to stay at home in my bed because I couldn't even walk. Because when you get your torso ripped open like that, it's real painful to walk. And all of the teachers were kind of giving me hell for it. Even though I was like, they're like, oh, well, this student didn't have to be out that long. Well, this student also doesn't have a compromised immune system. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by compromised immune system is I'm just kind of naturally am prone to bacterial infections. I had one last summer, and it extended from July to October. It was that bad that I almost lost my hand. Like, my hand was literally rotting off, and I still had, like, chunks of skin that never came back. You know what I'm saying? I'm prone to bacterial infections. So, I got one, and it wouldn't go away. So, right when I missed 2 more weeks of school, get back into school, get this infection because schools are nasty. Gotta miss more school because I have to get on antibiotics because my immune system is still pretty weak from the surgery and, throwing up my guts and, being in so much pain I couldn't move. So, I do that. And then the whole time I was playing A New Beginning and grinding through it because I had nothing else to do. I lived an hour from my high school, so I couldn't just go and get the work. And they wouldn't send it to my house or have anyone who lived near me bring it to me because they wanted me to come get it. So I kind of just, I made up the work. What's wrong, Oz? He just randomly thrashed. But I made up the work and obviously fell behind still because once you fall behind, you're pretty much screwed in those kind of situations. Don't take AP classes if you're sickly because if you fall behind, you're screwed. At least I was screwed because when I fall behind that hard, I never really can get back kind of thing. But anyway, so I was playing A New Beginning and that's all I had to keep myself occupied. Yeah, I had other video games, but like I was so entranced with this game. And I know there's some people who really don't like A New Beginning, and I understand because it's really slow. Like, it is, in my opinion, not counting Trio Town has a slow start because it has like a big prologue type thing, but oh my god, is A New Beginning slow to start. It is like stupid slow. But so I was playing this and still recovering from the surgery and then later on the bacterial infection. And I'm like, well, shit. I think I've become obsessed with this game. Because, like I said, I've been playing Harvest Moon games now for, like I said, I got my first one between 8 and 10. I don't know exactly when that was. And I've been playing them since. And, it's been around 11 to 13 years that I've been playing them. So eventually there's going to be an obsession somewhere. And I've been obsessed with other games before, like Oblivion, Skyrim, Rune Factory, which the Rune Factory games I did like a lot, but I never got super obsessed with them, but I got so obsessed with A New Beginning that I ended up playing it for probably almost a full year after the surgery. Like an actual, real person for a full year, not an in-game full year. Like, I'm somewhere between year 8 and 10. I'm not going to check right now because I have Trio of Towns in my thing and I really don't want to find my game because it's in a big pink case, but the big pink case is somewhere in my room and I don't feel like finding it. But, and that was, yeah, I had my parents and stuff, but that was like the only sense of comfort I have, and too long didn't read. I've been in a lot of bad relationships in my life, and Alan was like, like, even though he's not real, I became obsessed with Alan. I drew Alan all the time. I loved Alan. Started a fan club about Alan on DeviantArt, and also Cam that still exists on there, which I think I've abandoned both of them. Like, I think I left both of them, I'm pretty sure. But I was the leader of both of them at one point, and I just, something about Alan, dude. And it's what made my love for Harvest Moon, like, so much higher than it was. Because I used to just enjoy the games, but now, like, love the games, because even now, like, Trio of Towns, I had recently went through a pretty bad car accident. And then I played Trio of Towns, like, it's like a coping thing, I guess. Because when I'm super depressed and anxious, I just turn on a Harvest Moon game, and it helps for some reason. I don't know why, but it does. And I guess because I don't really socialize much in real life. Like, I have friends, but I don't like to leave my house except for work. I don't even go out to get food ever unless I'm already at work and getting off and then going to go get food. I really never leave my house. Like, I'll go outside, but I don't leave the vicinity of my property. And I guess it gives me some sort of sense of, like, feeling needed, which I don't feel that much in real life. But I don't want to get too feelsy here. I just wanted to explain why I loved Harvest Moon so much. And if you've never played it, well, I really, really recommend you play it. Because it's an amazing game. Like, most of them are amazing. Island of Happiness. But, like, you can just pick up a random game. I would recommend researching, like, what you might prefer in a game. Because some people like the less complicated Friends of Mineral Town. But I really like the newer games more. And I still, like I said, I like the older games. But the ones I really just didn't like were the ones that kind of did stuff too different. Like Island of Happiness. Where even if the weather could ruin all your crops if it just rained too much and you couldn't control it, kind of thing, you know. But, like I said, if you've never played Harvest Moon, or if you've quit playing it because you think you're not going to like the new games, just try them, you know? And I'm not coming here to force anything on you, obviously. I'm just coming here to show you Speedpaint, talk about my love for Harvest Moon. And the Speedpaint's Ludus, by the way, if you didn't know from just looking at it. Ludus from Trio of Towns. And they're just great games, and like, if you like Stardew Valley, you'll definitely like Harvest Moon, and vice versa. I love Stardew Valley. It's another game that I play like once or twice a year. Like, I'll do a whole new playthrough. But you just need to try them, my dudes, because they're just great. And at least for me, they've helped me stay sane through some really bad times. And I don't know if, I don't know, the words I'm really looking for here is, I don't really know how well off I would be mentally without these games. I know that's saying a lot, but, like, if I didn't have Harvest Moon then when I was going through the appendix and the bacterial infection, if I didn't have Harvest Moon after the car accident, it probably would have been a lot longer until I started to feel better about everything. And I probably would have some sort of, like, I guess, trauma. Because while, yes, I still kind of get nervous driving, I I used to cry every time I heard a car go down the road. That was how bad it was. And that only lasted like 2 days because, excuse me. And that only lasted a couple days, like 2 days, because I guess because I distracted myself from thinking. If you're super anxious, like I am, I'm a very, very anxious person. I'm not usually prone to being depressed, but God, am I anxious. I'm trying to not swear a lot, but it's hard. I'm extremely anxious. This game will relax you. It's like a little relax shot in your butt, you know, like a steroid shot, but a relax shot in your booty. And it just makes me feel so much better. I feel like the games are great. I feel like most of them send good messages most of the time. Like, most of them have, at least in the newer ones especially, they've expanded the stories. All the other townsfolk have, like, other, like, really, really good friend and heart events that, like, really expand on them, in my opinion. I'm not talking, like, Harry Potter levels of character development. That's the first thing I could think of. I like Harry Potter, and that's the first thing I can think of when it comes to books. But they're not that great at like, they're not top tier S quality level development, but they're pretty good now compared to what they used to be, because especially with the older games, I think there was a pretty lack of character development. It was just they would say 2 or 3 things to you each day, and now they would say the same thing no matter what heart you were at, but now you get different words per, you get different phrases and things from heart events, and they say different things, and they give you gifts, and they talk to you, and they come see you at your farm, and this is great. And I really recommend Harvest Moon for anyone, especially if you're suffering from anxiety really bad. It can maybe be a coping method, because I use it to cope. I mean, I play it when I'm not anxious, obviously, but I really love Harvest Moon as a coping method. And I love the games. I think they're great, and really think you should try them if you haven't. I really hope you enjoyed today's speed paint and could tolerate my my weird accent and way of talking and all that stuff. I've never made a voiceover before, and this is the first one, so hopefully it doesn't sound too bad. Hopefully you're not going deaf because I'm using my cell phone. Hopefully Ozzy didn't make too many background noises. Right now he seems pretty sleepy, and hopefully you can hear me pretty well, because I'm a soft speaker. But thanks for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed the speed paint and the little ramble and gushing about Harvest Moon. I know it's a long video, but you know, if you stayed, that's great. It means a lot to me, and I hope you have a great day.